I'm Katie Cowan, and this is the Creative Boom Podcast. This week, for episode 76, my guest is Mat Voyce, a non-award-winning graphic and motion designer based here in the UK. Matt states that he's non-award-winning, not only because he hasn't yet won any awards and wants to joke about it, but also perhaps to prove a point that you don't need a trophy to be a success, and a success he's truly been. Specialising in 2D type animation, Matt's become known for his pioneering style that explores illustrative kinetic typography. It's actually what made him famous, as he spent the pandemic creating simple yet positive type art on Instagram, gaining himself a huge following and the chance to raise his profile and network with the global creative community. It also led to huge client wins, such as Disney, Google and Nike. Spending so much time and effort on his Instagram account also allowed Matt to flex his creative muscles and build on his skills. I must admit, I've really enjoyed watching him flourish over the last 2 years. And being such a nice, hard-working person, it's of course wonderful to see his efforts paying off. I wanted to chat with Matt about this rise to fame, his experience of Instagram overall, and how when COVID-19 hit, he just got his head down and got on with his work. We talk of the treadmill of freelancing and how to find a good balance, even whether that's possible. We discuss looking after our mental health. And we hear more about creative copycats and how to cope with those people who are a little too inspired by our own work. There's a lot that Matt has generously shared here, so I hope this friendly neighbourhood type animator, as he describes himself, brings you some warmth and wisdom this Monday morning. Stay with us. What if you could transform your iPad into a drawing tablet by mirroring your favourite Mac or PC desktop apps? Astropad Studio is what you've been looking for. It's a smart app for professional artists designed to give the flexibility of an Apple Pencil combined with the full desktop power of software like Photoshop and Illustrator. Even with the most demanding creative work, Astropad Studio guarantees low latency performance over Wi-Fi or USB cable, so you can stay productive and creative on the go. There are also so many features that allow you to customize your workflow, from programmable gestures and unlimited shortcuts to custom pressure curves and pressure smoothing. You'll feel unstoppable. What's more, Astropad Studio is trusted by leading design agencies and animation studios around the world, and millions of artists already rely on it, whether they use a Mac or PC. If you're ready to take your creative workflow to the next level, you can start your 30-day trial free on Astropad Studio today. Plus, save 10% on your first year when you enter the promo code BOOM at checkout. That applies to whether you opt for a monthly or an annual subscription. Just visit astropad.com to get started today. Well, you're looking nice and brown there, Matt. It's lovely to have you on board. Have you just come back from holiday or something?
Hello, and yes, I have. I'm fresh off the plane after 2 weeks in the Caribbean.
Yeah, I have a confession to make. I've just got back from Tenerife myself. Not quite as nice as the Caribbean, but still nice to get away from the UK winter. My goodness.
Yeah, I've heard it's been pretty rough as well, like snow, rain, all the last few weeks. So I think we left at a good time.
We did, and back home to the rain and the hail and the snow.
Yeah, welcome home.
Yeah, can you hear it above me on the attic window?
Yeah,
it's quite soothing actually. After you can have too much sun as a Brit, I find.
Yeah, there's a limit and a level, I think, before it gets a bit intense, and you just want to come back to rainy skies, I guess.
Are you a kind of sit in the sun all day kind of guy, or do you just like me start getting frustrated and slightly sort of angry and have to get a shade?
Yeah, do you know what? I never used to be able to sit still, which is why we always used to go on holidays that were like tours. So you go to different hotels, or you stay in like cabins and things. But yeah, I don't know. As I've got a little bit older, I've started to really appreciate that downtime and just sit there and cook for a few hours. But yeah, it gets to like early afternoon, and I'm like, I've had enough sun now. Just get me some shade.
I don't know whether it's a common thing in the creative industries, but we all kind of tend to sort of gravitate towards the city trips, the culture trips, the kind of the things we can sort of proudly talk about and perhaps show off about on Instagram.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, people are a little bit snobby about those all-inclusive holidays, but I just love them. And I only discovered them probably a couple of years ago. And they're just what the doctor ordered, aren't they?
Yeah. I'm the same. Like this was only the second time I've been to one, and the first was on our honeymoon like 2-3 years ago. But yeah, it's just nice because you don't have to worry about anything. You just, it sounds weird, but you just consume and you just sit in the sun and there's no worries. The food's there, the drink's there, you can get whatever you want. And it's just, it's like a nice, nice complete break. No movement, just relaxing and eating and drinking.
Nice. It is good. It's nice to swap the kind of daily mundane worries and stresses for new kind of interesting ones, like
Definitely.
Is that guy I accidentally tried to have a bit of banter with by the bacon station, and it failed massively. Should I go up and try and explain myself? The other day when you took the bacon first before me, and I went, "Oi, what do you think you're doing?"
I feel like that's a typical English thing to do. Like if you're on holiday around loads of Americans, like they don't seem to sort of approach situations like that. Whereas in Britain, we're very apologetic and we're kind of just like overthink everything, as simple as things like that, I think.
Well, I made friends with the guy that my spectacular joke fail happened with on the first morning of my time in Tenerife, and we ended up laughing at each other every time we walked past, and we had that sort of daily brief encounter, but it was just lovely. It warms the soul.
Nice. It's definitely
just nice to see everybody having a nice time again as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. Everyone just cuts loose and just relaxes, and there's like no worries. You forget what things were like after the last couple of years, and then you go away somewhere like that, and it's like it doesn't exist because you're not necessarily watching news all the time, and you're not around masks. So it's nice. It's like it's like normality, the new normal.
Yeah, back to kind of just the way things kind of were. And we have all this guilt, don't we, when we go and do things like this now. We're like, oh, should we be doing this? And so many people have got different kind of ways of responding to this. So
they do. And I understand some people are quite afraid of it, or if people are more vulnerable, then they kind of have a reason to. But I guess if you're not and you follow the restrictions, you've had your jabs, then you've got to carry on like normal.
You have. Well, your mental health and just to get away from the routine. Because I think as a freelancer, I can imagine, Matt, you've probably not really stopped for the last 2 years.
No, not at all. And I mean, it got to a point where before I left the last agency I was at, I was kind of freelancing on the side. So I was kind of getting prepared for the world of freelancing. And then, as I left, I thought I'd just take on projects when and what I want. I can have more downtime and just take it a bit slower. And that is not the case, which is great. It's great to be super busy and everyone wants work from you. But yeah, it is. It's just like non-stop, and it's just trying to find those moments of clarity where you can relax and refresh and have that downtime, which is why, holidays like that have been just refreshing. Perfect.
I think the last 2 years have made everything way more intense. I think I check the news more than I have ever done before, even though I'm like a journalist and I always traditionally, it was my thing. Have you found that as well? Have you found it's been so difficult to switch off?
Yeah, definitely. And I think because, when lockdown came, and it was that specific point where we couldn't leave the house at all, you had nothing else to do but go on digital screens, watch TV, or go on your phone or your iPad, whatever it was. So there was almost no escape from it, really. I found myself more interested in like news and, just trying to keep up to date with what's going on, because it kind of affects everything, and it kind of affects work as well now, really. Yeah,
it does. I think we're all, as they say, digitally knackered. And this is why I sort of chuckle when people say, oh, it's all going online now. We'll be in Meta. I'm like, if anything has taught me personally over the last 2 years is that I want to be out in the real world a lot more than I was ever before.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's all very well, the whole, I guess, NFT and metaverse and, all that kind of world that's coming out there now. But, you miss that sort of human connection, and there's only so many Zoom screens you can talk over, or video chats you can have, before you want to just be with someone in person and be back out there in the real world.
Yeah, definitely. And do you find it's quite overwhelming, or do you find you're doing inappropriate things like me, like squeezing people's lower arms and and poking them and like, oh my God, you're real.
Yeah, and you almost build up like a social anxiety of like, especially I guess when lockdown's lifted, you're like, how do I act? Like, when do I laugh to a joke, or like, do I give someone a hug? And it just like threw everything out of perspective, and like, yeah, it's bizarre. Really bizarre.
We lost our kind of natural way of having conversation, didn't we? And, you know, I've done those, like, I've had those moments where I've laughed too much at somebody's jokes and then I just sound kind of insane.
Yeah, you just that person in the corner that everyone's just like, oh, just look at the next person. Talk to someone else.
Oh, it is really nice to have that sort of post-holiday feeling and come back refreshed. It feels like a rare feeling. And it's great to see that you've got that rest. Now, I've been looking at your website, and the first thing I spotted that is that you put on there, and apologies, I'm laughing. I just find it really tickles me. You've called yourself a non-award-winning creative. I love that.
And it's luckily still true. I still yet to win awards, but that's exactly why it's there, because it came out of I think the first time I wrote it came out of a place of almost anger, because I think I entered an award. I won't name any names, and it's only for you have to be under a certain age to be able to apply for it. And you know, I felt really good about my work that year, and I was in a really great place, and I almost felt like maybe I've got this. You know, it'd be great to sort of have this under my belt before I start going freelancing, and I didn't get it, and I was kind of crushed, and I thought, you know, I'm going to kind of rebel in the only way I know how and just write some lettering out and just do some type. And that's how it took form. And it's just kind of sat there for a long time on my website. And it used to be on my Instagram, but I've kind of changed it up recently just to, I don't know, just try and go at things in a different way, really.
Sure. We're always playing with those Twitter bios, aren't we?
Yeah. It says a lot about you in like 140 characters or whatever it is. You've got to be like really on the ball or on the point with whatever it is you're saying.
I bet people hate me now because I've just become really, you know, seemingly arrogant because I've unfollowed everyone.
It's got to be done sometimes.
No, I've done it on purpose. I've done it because I want to follow lists instead of people.
Yeah.
Just to kind of like make myself less accessible. Anyway, that's another story. I won't go too much into that. That's more about privacy and sort of reeling things back after, you know, a decade of social media. But
definitely.
But we'll come to that in a minute. But because obviously social media has been very good for you. But so you've kind of sort of abandoned awards then, and you don't really enter them anymore.
Yeah, I have to admit, I've seen one that's more type-based, that's sort of coming out soon, that I'm interested in just going for. Just, you know, I don't know. I guess it's not even to have like the accolade on my name. It's just it's probably more for the exposure and just for more people to sort of see my work. And if it brings me in more project work, then at the end of the day, that's kind of the most important thing than being able to say in my bio that, you know, I've won this award. So. Yeah, I'm going to go in for that one. But other than that, I kind of just don't bother going in for them anymore. I don't want them to kind of define me or my career, that, you know, they're the only highlights that I've won these awards. I want my work to kind of speak for itself more so than here's a trophy on my cabinet or here's like a bit of text on my bio.
Well, I've always been a big believer, just because you don't win an award or, you know, get recognised in that way, it doesn't have any kind of reflection on the quality of your work. Plenty of people who don't bother with awards, like yourself. And I think as we were sort of chatting about before, you know, marketing, entering awards, that's just one thing you can do. There are so many other doors you can open. And, you know, going back to social media, that kind of was the very thing for you, wasn't it? That kind of basically got your name out there. Instagram's been fantastic for you.
Yeah. I mean, it's changed my career, really. I mean, I did start using it in my second year of uni when it was all about photos and, you know, putting those really harsh filters on your pictures of nature or food or whatever it was. And then, as time went on, I started putting a bit of work out there just for, at the time, to get more exposure for getting a job in an agency, because that's kind of what I wanted to do when I left uni and those first few years after uni. So it was all about that, and it was always about posting stuff out there that I wanted to be paid to make stuff that I could make all the time. And, that's kind of what I'm known for, rather than putting out, case studies of like sort of brands that I've done and stuff that I wasn't interested in doing. Even if it looked great, it wasn't something that I would want to do again. So I didn't bother sharing stuff like that. I spent a few years doing that. And then lockdown came, and the only solace and the only sort of thing I found sort of comfort in from being locked inside was creating daily type pieces. So I'd watch TV and a word would pop up and I'd be like, that's my word for today. I'm not going to be commuting. I've got more free time. I don't have to go out for lunch really. So I had much more time just to make stuff. And even if it was just like 1 hour a day, I got into the routine of making something every day, posting it, and it kind of snowballed. It wasn't something that I ever thought was going to really grow. I just liked making this type. And again, it was stuff that I wanted to do for a career. So it was like, if I can show more people that I'm making it, then maybe I'll get more jobs, or I'll get people interested in trying to sort of hire me to do it. And it just became something that I never expected, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the work's brilliant, but you also share very positive, uplifting little messages that were just the kind of thing we all needed during those dark times.
Yeah.
And I suppose that really helped as well.
Yeah, that was kind of the kind of crux at the time, was to make something that, because everyone's on their phone, it's something positive. And even if it makes someone smile or laugh, a word as simple as joy bouncing and repeating and just being alive was enough to bring a feed alive. So it was I'm just going to keep making this fun, positive stuff. And if something comes of it, it comes of it. And if it doesn't, it's stuff I like making, and it's kind of like a hobby.
It's so true. I remember when we went for our first jab in Manchester Sports City, in this huge tennis stadium, I think. It was like a zombie apocalypse,
Yeah.
And I hadn't done it on purpose, but I was wearing one of my favourite necklaces, and it just spells out joy, massive joy, in kind of laser cut wood, designed by Morag Myerscough.
Nice.
And it was quite amusing to be wearing this on the first day of the jab when everyone's obviously scared. But it was actually a really good choice, because it was making lots of people sort of go, oh, and look at me and smile, and kind of maybe kind of soften the atmosphere a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. And I think, we all know these words, and we all know like positive words, but I guess when you actually visually see something, it just triggers something in your mind or your brain.
Definitely.
And just brings, I don't know, positivity, and changes like your thought processes of anything that's in your head at the time. It's quite a powerful thing, really.
Did you find you needed to do it for yourself as well?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'd spent a lot of time sort of making my own stuff in my own time anyway, before I got into this Instagram sort of regime of making stuff and doing it daily. But it became something that I really wanted to. It was fun to make, and I think that was the most important thing. It was something that not only uplifted other people, it uplifted me as well. And because it felt like I was doing something that no one else had done. I mean, kinetic typography had been out there for ages. Loads of people have been doing it, but I guess because I'd been trained as like an illustrator, and I'd learned about branding, I'd learned about just general graphic design, I'd had all these jobs and all these different experiences. It just kind of all melded into this new sort of look on kinetic type. And if I could bring it to life, because I had the motion skills, it just became something that was like, I think I'm onto something here. And as traction started to build, it was like, I'm definitely on something here. I just got to keep pushing it and keep working at it and keep putting stuff out there. And here I am with a career in it now somehow. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's ace. You've done something to make yourself feel better, and everyone else too.
Yeah.
Done something productive during that time when we were forced to stay at home, and also built your skills. And here you are today working for people like Disney and Netflix. I mean, gosh.
Yeah, all these crazy brands that, I don't know, I used to look up to and could never imagine working for. Yeah, it's been great. And I guess the other side of it is the community. Like I've met so many great designers on Instagram from doing this work, and people that work for these big brands, like their contacts, that some of them that I chat to on Instagram like every other day. I may have never met them in person, some only over like email chains, but they're kind of like virtual friends. And it's that whole community feeling as well, which has been like another sort of great tool in my arsenal of like just meeting people and creating work. And it's just been fantastic, really.
And now you're at that kind of sweet spot where you've got the brands on the portfolio, you've got the great projects, you know, the inquiries are still coming through, I assume, and everybody's still loving what you're doing on Instagram. Is there ever a kind of anxious thought that it all might come to a crashing end? I mean, that's quite common amongst many of us, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I first said I was leaving my last job at the agency, I was kind of like, you know, it's going well now. Like I'm doing stuff on top of my agency time, but this could very well dry up in like a couple of months. Like it could well just be a fad, you know, like some of the styles that I've used before, they kind of had their trending periods and then it's kind of just flatlined. So there was that worry of like, you know, am I doing the right thing? Like, I think I'm doing the right thing because I'm turning down jobs that I would love to do because I can't do it because of my agency time. But I think if you've got that gut feeling, I think you just have to make the jump. And, you know, if you have to go back to an agency work, there's nothing sort of shameful about that. It doesn't work for everybody. So it was just, I don't know, I always thought it was like pure fluke, but if I talk to other people, they say it's just down to hard work and it's just about putting yourself out there every day and making stuff and just trying to, you know, like say, build those relationships and that community. Yeah,
there's no overnight success, is there?
Not at all.
No, we all have to learn that the hard way, I think. I mean, you know, you have to look at, you know, well, all of the kind of great artists and designers out there. A lot of the stories involve, you know, they started off working, you know, in some cases in a cafe and supplemented going to, you know, art classes on the side. And then 10 years later, they're finally doing what they wanted to do. And some people get really lucky and they just sort of land on something at the right time in the right place.
Definitely.
And the rest of us, it's all down to hard graft.
Yeah, it really is. It took me years out of uni to even get to where I am. Well, to even get to where I was like 2 years ago, just to think about doing what I do now. So, you know, I didn't know for a long time what I wanted to do. And I was trying to go into so many different avenues that it was almost sort of like that feeling of like complete lost, like being lost in the whole industry. So, you know, it does take time, and it is, like you say, it's hard graft, and everyone's journey is different, really.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like we're all still trying to find ourselves, never mind our style and how we sort of, you know, carve that niche for ourselves. Because I suppose in your line of work, you do have to find something that is distinctly you, and that must be a huge pressure for any artist and designer.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, I've done tutorials in the past and I've done like online design courses, but since I've done those last sort of courses, I've turned down quite a few others that have sort of, you know, said, we want you to come on board and do some workshops or do some classes and tell people how you create your stuff. But because now I see myself as more of like an artist, I don't necessarily want to be giving out all these secrets and giving out all these tips and hints. Like, I always help people, you know, I get messages on Instagram and I always sort of give advice and you know, help the best way I can. But yeah, because there is that pressure of sometimes some of the things I can do, most other motion designers have the skills to do it. So I want to keep it unique to myself. And I guess that's why I also try and create stuff as often as I can. Not as much every day as in lockdown, but, you know, just keep trying to push those new styles and find more things that are unique to me and more things that I can offer in my sort of arsenal of animated type, really.
Yeah, I feel like it's a really hard balance to strike between remaining really supportive of other creatives who are coming up behind you, but at the same time being very wary of protecting your business, your brand, and recognizing that, you know, whilst there is a lot of work to go around, there is a lot of competition out there. So yeah, I get that. It must be frustrating for you.
Yeah, it is frustrating, but you know, like I said, like I'd always try and help, especially kind of younger designers. You know, I'd never go out there to put them down or to be kind of negative towards them. No. I just always try and tell them that, you know, they need to find their own distinct style and find something that kind of really works for them, because there's only so far you're going to be able to get, you know, distinctly copying other artists' styles before, you know, either people cotton on or you just run dry, you run out of things to create. So I think it's also like a massive sort of development and growth point as well for any sort of young designer or artist to go on that journey and of like self-discovery and discovering what you like making and what you like working with is super important. It gets you so much further than just taking those shortcuts, really.
Yeah, definitely. I've got a good tip actually for yourself, and if you haven't already done it, and anybody else who's listening out there who's made a name for themselves and is doing really well, and you get all these messages, these DMs, these emails, can you help, can you help, can you help? You'll find after a while, and this is, I have to, give Danny Molyneux a good mention here, because it was her idea and she's done it with her website and it's working very well for her. But just put a page on your website which you can send people to. Frequently asked questions for graduates or school leavers, and just say, how did you get into design? And you can even like send journalists to it, so it acts as a really kind of nice bit of background. And then if they're still asking, just keep adding to the FAQs. Every new question you get, just spend some time on it, and then just sort of very politely say, I haven't got chance to chat to you individually. I really wish I could, but what I've done is prepared this detailed document that shows you, that should hopefully answer some of your questions, if not more. And I think that's, more than generous.
I think that's like a great avenue to send people down.
Yeah.
It's not like giving them the cold shoulder or anything. It is, giving them that other outlet to sort of have a look at, especially if you're busy at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's only when we've worked in the industry for a good few years that we begin to appreciate that, everybody's time is very precious. And when you're freelancing, time is money. I mean, you're constantly spinning plates, aren't you? And trying to keep everybody happy. So
yeah, of course.
But we always try and carve a little bit out of each day to sort of give back and do something good. I'm quite lucky because I get to do that anyway, all day long.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's good fun. So obviously typography is your specialism and making things move. I mean, how did that actually come about? How did you go down that route?
So I used to create a lot of static sort of type prints. They were at the time, they were things that I wanted to put on my wall as like wall art, because I couldn't find online the kind of stuff that I wanted to have in my own rooms, really. So I started creating static stuff. And as my sort of agency time went on, I started to learn more about motion graphics and After Effects and how to make not type move, but make characters and make brands move, really. So it was never intended to go down like the typography path, because I was trained to be more into illustration and general graphic design. So I built up that sort of skill set of animating for brands and animating for characters, like literal, drawn characters. But when I applied that typography, that's when it all became something new entirely. It's been able to sort of bring that illustrative style in with the motion was just like, it was like a whole new world for me. And being able to make things move, it feels like really unique and special. And bringing life into something static it's just so fun to see it come alive on screen as you're what you've been through to bring it to life. So it's kind of unique. It's like a really nice feeling to know that you've brought this little bit of word into life.
Yeah, I can see it on your face. You're smiling your head off.
Yeah, it's good. It's the passion. It's what I love to do. So it's win-win.
Fab. And without meaning to sort of turn the conversation sour, do you find that you get a few copycats sometimes? And how do you deal with that when that happens?
Yeah, there has been more than a few, because like I said before, previous to this, some of the things that I do aren't necessarily really difficult. They're just more unique to me and how I approach sort of motion and type. So I've always gone out there and tried to put more of a positive spin on it. Like, I've spoken to other people about it, and it's very split 50-50. Some go straight down the path of being like, you should name and shame them, but that's it's not how I want to be seen in the industry. I don't want to be having Instagram stories where I'm saying, oh, everyone bring hate to this person because they're copying my styles. It's not cool. No one likes that. So
no,
the other 50% is you should feel a bit more inspired by it, and I try and go down that path and give advice to some people and approach it like, some of the stuff you're creating is very close to mine. Have you thought about sort of exploring this, or, trying to sort of look down like a different path, a different avenue, just so our styles aren't so similar. And it's only more so when that comes up, when you can see clearly on someone's profile that they've had a style and then they've completely switched. And it also almost becomes like a like for like of your designs. That's when it gets a little trickier, because it's harder to approach what's clearly like over inspired work that's taken directly from your hard work. Really, it's very tricky.
Yeah, it's a stab in the chest, isn't it? You kind of think, oh, I spent ages doing that. And then I mean, I think if you complain and name and shame, that kind of ends up looking way worse. It reflects more badly on you than anything else. You know, like, I mean, gosh, can we talk about Will Smith? I mean, you and I kind of sort of missed that, but I'm quite sort of straight down the line about how I feel about that. I mean, definitely. You know, you can't just sort of retaliate with, you know, negativity like that. You know, you've got to come at it positively. I agree with that. I sometimes, you know, there'll be like another creative platform that will launch online, and you'll go on their about page because you're curious and you want to see how you can support. And then you'll see that they've pretty much copied Creative Boom's about page, and you think, gosh, wow, okay. And then very fleetingly, I think, well, I'm flattered, and I'm not going to do anything or say anything, you know, because at the end of the day, they'll figure it out probably themselves and find their own style and find their own way. And really, I just find it really flattering, you know, that somebody's looking at what you're doing and saying, oh, that's working for them, so I'm going to copy that or try and tweak it a little bit so that it's not completely it's just so obvious.
It is sometimes. And I guess the last thing that if I went out and name and shame somebody, the last thing I would want it to be is like a new designer who's just trying out some new stuff and trying to find their feet, and, you know, to knock someone's confidence when they're trying to find their confidence. Just it's got to be like the worst feeling. So I just don't think it's kind of worth it. And I can't remember what the phrase is about flattery, but I think you just gotta take it the best way and just feel good about it.
Yeah, imitation is that's the greatest form of flattery or something like that. Yeah, because we've both got post-holiday brains right now, haven't we? This is our first day back. We've been dealing with, you know, emails and
catching up,
trying to work
back to reality.
No more cocktails.
No, I miss it so much.
I miss shuffleboard.
Oh, nice.
I never thought I would enjoy shuffleboard.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Is that the one with the sand?
It's you get a flat surface and you kind of use this big stick and you sort of shove these like counters along. And boules. I got to know loads of lovely people playing boules. Yeah,
we've played that before on the beach. It's great. It's a great game.
Yeah. Anyway, I go off on one. This is you know, for the dear listener, if they this is why we're not exactly with it just yet, you know.
Yeah.
Are you really hungry as well? I find, because I ate so much on holiday, my stomach's just like constantly going, hang on, where is the buffet? Where's the lunch buffet?
Mine almost goes a little bit opposite. Like I have a really hard time trying to adjust back to my normal diet, or, you know, my stomach goes all over the place, especially whilst flying. So I'm just trying to like find my feet with food as well. Not ideal.
Not ideal at all. Anyway, get back to work.
Yes.
Anyway, so you went to university. When did you graduate, Matt?
I graduated in 2013.
Right, okay. And did you enjoy it? Was it a fun time?
I enjoyed the freedom side of it and the social side of it to a degree, but the whole the course side and the educational side, I kind of really struggled with. Right. You know, I had a very big course. There was like over 120, 30 people on my course. So It was big, and it was, you know, there was a lot of connections to be made, and a kind of a lot of, I don't know, like a pecking order, you know, like trying to sort of really stand above the rest out of that many people. It was quite hard. And also because the way I sort of approached the briefs at uni, they I guess in my head they were right. Like I was just trying to create stuff that I thought looked visually appealing and stuff that was really nice to look at. Whereas, you know, when I sort of referred this work back to the tutors, it wasn't necessarily answering the brief. So I had a kind of a few knocks like that whilst at uni, and it really kind of put me off. I don't know, trying to just decide what I wanted to do. Like I was trying different things in different modules and nothing was aligning. So it was just like, is design going to work out for me? I'm not quite sure.
When it comes to the very tools we use to be creative, sometimes they don't quite stretch enough to meet our needs. If you're a professional artist with an iPad, you'll know only too well some of the limitations you face when trying to make art. Astropad Studio is something that will definitely spark your interest. It's the ultimate iPad app that's designed to give the flexibility of an Apple Pencil combined with the full desktop power of software like Illustrator or Photoshop. Sound good? There's a 30-day free trial of Astropad Studio waiting for you today. Plus save 10% on your first year when you enter the promo code BOOM at checkout. That applies to whether you opt for a monthly or an annual subscription. Just go to astropad.com to get started. It's interesting, isn't it? I think we all have kind of different experiences. Some have the best time at university. I personally didn't really I ended up getting a job out of it at the end of it. But yeah, I was like you. I struggled. Yeah. I found it really tough. But you know, at the end of the day, we got to go to university. You had to pay for it all, didn't you?
Yeah, luckily I got in just before the £9,000 course fee. You know, when the government raised the course fees, I got in. I finished just before that came in. So, I mean, my student loans bill that I'm never going to pay back anyway is like a third of some of the other students that have come out of uni since. Because the cost just skyrocketed. So I was quite lucky. I
was the last one to get a grant, and I also my course was free as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's how old I am. So there's a silver lining there between us.
Definitely.
But yeah, it's frustrating. But so yeah, you graduated, you went out into the world of work and worked for a few agencies, and you said we were chatting before, and you said you went to an event, and it was the lovely Craig Black that you chatted with, and he'd been saying to you, "Hey mate, you've got to get yourself freelancing."
Yeah, like
sorry, Craig.
it's super weird. Like it was a creative pool event, and every year they do this annual where you put your work on the portfolio and you get selected. And I was shortlisted for like a personal project, like all those years ago. And I went on my own down to London. I had a blazer on. Hang on,
wait a minute. Whoop, joop. You are shortlisted, therefore you are now an award-winning creative.
Oh, really? I didn't think shortlisted counted.
Of course it does.
Oh, I've been lying on my bio for all these years. I'm a fraud.
But the thing is, Matt, do you want to say you're an award-winning creative?
No, I don't. So
does it sound too showy-offy?
It does, yeah, it does now.
I get that. I'd be the same.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, bless you.
So yeah, at this event, I saw someone from my uni course, a guy called Andy Evans, who's a fantastic motion designer. And he worked with Craig at an agency, and they went to this event together. I think one of them was kind of shortlisted, or there was a reason, obviously, why they were there. And I just got talking to Craig on the side, and you know, he was really interested straight away in seeing why I was there and the kind of stuff I design, and you know, his positivity, like straight away. Like I'd only just met the guy, and he had so much positivity in like my work and what I was creating. I came away from this event not winning, but kind of almost winning in a different sense of like, at the time, making a friend I didn't really know was going to be like such kind of like a great virtual friend in a way. And then, over like the last few years, or over the last, I don't know, almost 10 years, like every time I've shared work out there on Instagram or Twitter or wherever it was, he's always replied to stuff. You know, he's always been like, well, a couple of years ago, he was always kind of like, "This is fantastic, Mr. Voice. One day, you know, you're going to smash it. You're going to be out there in the world being a freelance designer." And he'd always say that. He'd always sort of back me up and be like, you know, one day you'll make that jump, and one day you can do this. You know, it's something you've definitely got in you. So you'll do it one day. So, and yeah, obviously now, you know, here I am, and you know, it's great. And he's always been that little driving force behind me that's reassured me at times when I thought I'm never going to go freelance, even though I want to do it. This is a very small world. It's crazy.
That's awesome. And so humble of him, given, you're now competition.
Yeah. Yeah. We're both out there freelancing.
Yeah. Craig, what were you thinking?
I know, it's all Craig's fault.
Yeah. And you can make things move as well. There you go.
I know, yeah, but I've been really getting into his new paint dripping series that he's getting into.
Oh my goodness.
It's
Isn't
mesmerising.
it stunning?
Yeah. Unbelievable.
He's amazing at all his kind of marketing. And anyway, it's not about Craig. Let's stop talking about Craig. We're talking about you, Matt.
Yeah.
See, this is how Craig is really good at his marketing.
I know,
We end up talking about
he's
him in other
very
podcasts.
Well.
Oh, I love it.
It's great.
So, how have you evolved since then? I mean, have you found that like you've probably had your education in your sort of working career rather than your time at university?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like, it's nothing like sort of negative towards the uni, and it's
of course
just
not.
Everyone's sort of
everyone's
drive.
different.
Yeah, everyone experiences it in different ways. But yeah, it was only since kind of I started getting out there and really working with brands at agencies and finding out like, the teams behind brands, like how things work. Like, an art director for one agency is very different to compared to like an art director for a brand. And, it was really good to sort of like have this real education on how the design industry really works. It's not always as simple and sort of straight cut as you might think. Like there is different levels in agencies and brands. And, it was good to sort of get that experience at all these different agencies and find out, that on the other end, they are just normal people, an art director or like another sort of senior designer for a brand that, they're more than personable, they're just a normal person. So it was great to have that experience and build on that and sort of, just work out that, that's how things work and get that real life experience, really.
I think it's great to work in an agency first.
Definitely.
Before you go freelance, because you learn how a business works, you learn how to do client meetings, pitches. I mean, even just learning how to speak to clients on the phone.
Yeah. It's all super important.
So important. You'd think so simple, but I used to go bright red in meetings when I was young, fresh out. I found it terrifying.
Yeah, I know. I remember the last agency I was at, a place called Analog in Leeds. I remember the first time I jumped on a call with the team from Nickelodeon in New York.
Oh gosh!
And I was just the designer on the end with Barry, the guy who owns the agency and works with everyone, and Mike, one of the design directors. And I was just on the end, just like everyone was looking at me and just like waiting for me to say something or to have some input. And it's just first time, but as you sort of get used to it, you come out your shell a little bit more.
Well, you're sat amongst people who've got more experience than you, and you start listening and engaging with them. You see what they do, how they treat clients. And
exactly.
I think you're just like a sponge, aren't you? And one day you find yourself in a meeting and you're sort of coming out with all this stuff really confidently, and you realise that, oh gosh, it's a lovely moment when that happens. Yeah,
because you don't even second guess anymore. It just comes natural.
It's like Don or Peggy from Mad Men, you know.
Yeah.
Just one day it all just clicks. It's like snowboarding, going down a hill, and you're like, oh, finally I can do a turn without falling over. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Are you a snowboarder?
No. One time I went snowboarding. I had a few lessons, and then I went to somewhere called Swaddling Coat and to a big dry slope. This was when I was like 13, and
Ouch.
I was really confident. Went up the ski lift, went from the top, fell a couple of meters in, and tumbled. All the way down.
And that was the end of your snowboarding career?
Never again.
Have we got a word we could animate for this?
just epic fail, or just overconfidence would do.
Epic fail, I love it.
Yeah, awful.
With your kind of messages on Instagram, you get a lot of engagement from people as well. That's what I think so lovely. You'll just put something really simple on and you'll just start having all these conversations with so many different creatives. It's just ace. Yeah,
I because I guess when I was sort of growing up and when I was approaching designers that I was like really inspired by, if you're talking to someone or you put a comment, to get like some feedback back or to get, just to get acknowledgement that they've seen your comment it's a really nice feeling. So to be able to be in that position where I can comment back to people and people are like really happy, like it's a very strange feeling. It's really nice to be able to sort of give back and show that my online presence or like my Instagram profile is a real person and like I appreciate all these comments. So I always try and go through and like comments, reply to people, and just be human on these networks. It's nice to be able to do that to people.
You did Boom once as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, that was after, I think, I was featured on one of the articles on Creative Boom for motion designers. So it was like a celebratory post.
I'm going to have to dig that back out. And...
Well, I'm going to be doing one for this, so don't you worry.
Oh, fab!
Of course I am.
And that'll do really well because it'll be, motion.
It's video, yeah. What Instagram's all about.
Yeah, because you have done spectacularly well on Instagram, and everybody at the moment, including myself, is just moaning about the algorithm change this year and how things have sort of gone a bit kind of flat for some of us. But for you, it seems to be still going great.
Yeah, it's weird. I know some people have really strict regimes as to what time of day they post.
Yeah.
And for me, I've never kind of looked at it like that. I've kind of just put work out there whenever I kind of wanted to, and I've never focused on the algorithm.
Come on, Matt.
No?
Tell us all your secrets. We want to know. We want to fool the Instagram algorithm. What are you doing that we're not doing? Tell us now.
Plenty of hashtags. Never be afraid to slap 30 hashtags on a post.
Really?
Yeah, that's how I've been approached by some massive brands, because their art directors have gone on Instagram, search for, animated type as a hashtag, and seen my work and messaged me.
And have you just done that via instinct, or have you gone on a sort of tool?
So I've been doing that since I used to post photos. So when I was posting photos, like in university, if it was like a picture, I remember going to Snowdonia and taking loads of photos and tagging like mountain climbing, mountain life, snow, hills, peaks, all these hashtags to try and draw people into photos. It works the same with design work, It's especially if you don't have a massive audience, like people need to be able to see and find your work. So I would always slap this big bulk of hashtags on as a comment underneath my work. And that is how, people have found me and how these kind of my work spread, I guess, because otherwise I think it's very hard for Instagram to pull it into the explore feed and for your work to pop up if you don't whack hashtags on it. Okay.
And do you put that in your initial post, or are you one of these people that does follow-up comments with the hashtags?
Yeah, I used to do it in the initial post because I thought it made a difference. And then sometimes I did it in the comments, but then people would say to me, if you do it in the comments, it doesn't work like that, but it does. It's exactly the same. So I just whack it in the comments afterwards. I've got like a notes folder on my phone, and I just copy the bulk of hashtags and sling them back in. And easy as that. Well, there you go. All of us now are going to start pulling together loads of hashtags. Yep. Boom love. Yeah. Create a boom. Exactly. Boom. And then I can animate all these words as well. It's great. Oh my goodness me. Yeah. I'm so jealous. Yeah. But I think also it helps that everything I do is video, and Instagram is 100% pushing video content and reels. Like if you look on sort of, I guess like anyone's profile really, if you look at a photo and see how many, comments or likes it's got, and then check out a reel on like the same profile or on a similar profile, the views on the reels are insane because, they're really trying to push Instagram as like a video service. And, I'm sure it won't be long before they're doing streaming, God knows. I'm sure they've got some grand plans for this whole video setup they've got going. But will people stay? That's my sort of ongoing question. Is everybody getting a bit fed up with, because they're just making us work harder and harder. Yeah, they really are. To get the same kind of, traction. Yeah, and especially if you don't do anything animated or any sort of video stuff, if all your work's static, like a hell of a lot of great designers and artists out there. Photographers. If you don't have the reach or the sort of the following behind you already, it's going to be super hard to grow on there. And it's almost, it feels like it could become like a dead platform for static image. Do you still use sad. Facebook pages? No. I mean, I sadly go on Facebook now to just message people. It's the only way I talk to some people, or to check birthdays. Wow. I left Facebook in that way in 2016. Yeah. So I kind of moved to WhatsApp and moved any groups that I had on Messenger. God, I almost forgot what the name of that was. Moved all of them onto WhatsApp, and then I tried to do the same to Signal, but nobody was having it. So until we're absolutely forced to,
Everybody's on WhatsApp, and
Yeah.
that's the only kind of way I stay in touch with people now.
Yeah, that's the best way, I think.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's good fun. I'm there for the gifts.
Yeah, it's all about the gifts. It's how I
I've
make my living.
Yeah, totally. And I've been told, I'm a gift master.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You got some good gift game, have you?
I have got good gift game.
Great.
Glad I said that correctly.
Yeah.
Now, you were one of the people during the pandemic to get to adopt a dog, and his name is Hooch.
I was. He's my best bud. Yeah, I wouldn't be without him now. Would not be without him.
Very lucky to have met him earlier before this chat. And you walk him every day, 5 miles a day, which is brilliant. And obviously I feel like we're all walking more now. Would that be fair?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
After lockdown, walks became the best thing to do.
Oh, I love them.
Yeah, it's great.
I go out, have a walk. Haven't done my walk today yet. But did you do a lot of walking on holiday? Because we did 15,000 steps a day, which I think for a holiday at an all-inclusive cheapy hotel, I thought that was quite...
Yeah, we didn't do any walking. I even changed my goals on my Apple Watch to keep my 200 odd day streak that I've got going for doing all my rings.
Oh, you cheat. I don't do that.
I can't keep doing 60 minutes of exercise whilst I'm on holiday like I do when I walk the dog every day. It just wasn't going to happen.
Just put it on 45 minutes permanently, and then if you do 60, it's a bonus.
I know, but if you don't, then you lose your ring streak.
Oh, bless you. I hadn't thought about that. My ring streak is looking terrible for, the last 3 months. Winter, basically.
I'm on like 230 days, perfect days.
Matt.
I might win an award.
You might.
That's what it's all about.
Well, you do, don't you? On a daily basis with Apple. It's like, well done. You've won a 7-day streak for standing up every day.
That could be a very good Instagram bio.
Oh.
About my Apple Watch awards.
You should.
Yeah, I like that.
Have you ever put anything on there briefly and then thought, no, that's ridiculous, and taken it off? Yeah,
there's been a few sort of lines that I put up there, and you think, oh, that's such an original line, and then you go scrolling on Instagram and you're on an artist page and you're like, that's where I've seen it, and then it's like, retract, take it off.
Yeah, we're not as unique and special as we like to think we are.
No, nothing's original.
No. Nothing at all. We can try. We can sort of delude ourselves for a while that there's something special about us. But really, we're all just little ants running around. Yeah, unfortunately. Not really special. No. Oh, well. But anyway, you've been keeping happy walking the dog. But has that sort of helped with your anxiety? Have you sort of felt better for having that to get away from the desk? Yeah, it's weird because, I'd gone through... having a pet growing up, and I'd had a pet when I lived with my mum, and it was great, never any worries or fears. But as soon as I kind of got my own dog in my own space, it just launched me into crippling anxiety. It was the strangest thing, and it got to the point where I was sort of almost upset, sat at dinner with no appetite, just because I was so concerned where the dog was, even though he was just sat somewhere or in another room. It was like a really strange sort of impulse. I'm in the grand scheme of things, I'm really glad that it happened, not only because I have him, at home every day by my side, but because I wouldn't want to get further down my life and in sort of my sort of journey, especially with, having children in the future, and for something like that to come up when we're going through something that's much tougher than having a dog, and to be battling that, and to have to go through therapy again to sort of try and make things better. So it was all meant to be in my mind. And, now I look at him lying in the sun, and, I couldn't be a bit without him. Yeah, it's a big change to a lifestyle, especially if you're used to having seemingly a lot of freedom where you can just get up and go, and you don't have to think, oh, I just bashed my mic again. Sorry about that. It's definitely kind of something that can overwhelm you. A big lifestyle change like that. But yeah, and now, I get to be away from my desk for up to 2 hours a day, really. I can take him out for a couple of miles in the morning, and then a couple of miles in the evening or the afternoon. And it does detach you away from the screen, and it gets... especially if I'm having a tricky project day where I'm struggling to sort of get my head into a new project, or,
I'm hitting like sticking points and that sort of imposter syndrome comes up. It's that creeping doubt,
Oh, that horrible creeping.
I can grab the dog and head out for an hour and just forget about all of it. It doesn't matter because I'm not by the computer. I can't do anything. So just forget about it for an hour.
He's like your living, cuddly, lovely, adoring, living Apple Watch.
He is.
It's telling you to get up.
Yeah.
Get up.
Yeah. My Apple Watch doesn't bite me on the leg when it wants to get up.
Is that what he does?
He used to. When he used to get really twitchy, there'd be moments where he'd start to sort of nip me when I was on calls with clients, because it got to like 4:00 and he was below my desk, sort of circling, biting my socks is a big thing for him.
That's what I did with my husband for a while when he wasn't coming out for daily walks. I'm like, come on, I'm desperate to get out the house. Let's go.
It works.
He's like, I've just got to do one more bit of code.
That's exactly how I was, yeah. Just give me 5 minutes, 5 minutes.
Human, I need to poo. How have you enjoyed that, picking up the poo? That's the thing that stops me from getting a dog.
I didn't mind that. I used to do it with I didn't enjoy it, but it doesn't faze me. I used to do it with my mum's dog, so it's just part and parcel of having a big dog or a hound for me.
I'm just laughing. On Christmas Day, we stayed at my husband's mum's, and she's got a beautiful dog called Billy, and we took him for a walk on Christmas morning, just me and Tom. He pooed, and we were both arguing for about 2 minutes about who had to pick it up. And I was like, for God's sake, I'll pick it up. So I picked it up, and as soon as it was in the bag and hanging, we both got a whiff from it. He ran a mile. I was nearly throwing up.
Yeah, the gag comes.
I swear Tom ran up the lane to throw up. Oh dear, it just wouldn't work.
No, it's not nice, and you never want to have one of those moments where there's a hole in the bag and you don't realise, and before you know it,
oh God,
it's too late. Always check your bags, kids.
Well, I left it on the wall.
Yeah.
On the wall, and then I thought, right, I'll do a loop, and I'll come back for it.
Yeah.
And that was, to be fair, it's lovely having a walk with a dog, because you're just always looking at it and enjoying watching and seeing what he does, and getting to know his little quirks.
Exactly.
And then you see other dog walkers, and they're nice and they talk to you.
Yeah, it's very, it's this big community behind it.
Yeah.
It's cool.
There's a lovely illustrator called Ben Talon, and when he was living in Manchester, one of his neighbours, when he went out on daily walks with their dog, was Sean Ryder.
Oh, nice.
From the Happy Mondays.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved hearing about that.
That's wicked.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
I think he ended up doing a podcast with him.
Oh, that'd be great. I've seen him on Gogglebox a few times, and he's quality on that.
He's hilarious. We're always seeing him around Manchester and Bez.
Yeah. That's wicked.
And Terry Christian. We see him quite a lot.
Nice.
And there are a few famous people around here as well, which is quite amusing.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's a nice city. Whereabouts are you based?
I'm in Leeds.
Oh, nice.
Just a couple of miles outside the city centre.
I wish it was easier to get to. I mean, every time they talk about improving links between Manchester and Leeds,
it's never easy. Especially now, I think Snakes Pass is still closed. They're still blocked off, and that's like one of the main car journeys for Leeds to Manchester, or from Sheffield to Manchester. It just blocks it all off.
It's a bit of a trek.
Yeah, it is. It's a slog.
So do you work with a lot of agencies in Leeds, or are you kind of working for one in particular right now?
No. So I hardly work for anyone in the UK, really. I only get... I joined a sort of agency roster called Poco earlier last year. Yeah, earlier last year. And they brought in some insane projects. But the reason I jumped on board with them was because I didn't get any work in my home territory, so in the UK or in Europe.
Wow.
Most of, like 90% of the stuff I do is all US or Canada based. It's all over that side of the ocean.
Crazy.
Yeah.
England. All made possible by this.
Yeah.
Magic.
And I love it. I love working with the sort of American side and having these sort of American contacts and pals. And yeah, it's ideal. I wouldn't change it for the world. Yeah,
I'm the same. We've got clients all over the world now that we work with from Creative Boom, and I just love the differences in the culture, and how one certain particular country might be more efficient than the other, and grateful I mean, any American client I work with, they're always so grateful.
Yeah. That's why I kind of love working with them. And it's just, I guess it's one of the massive perks of being a freelancer. Like, I've met more people in the last 2 years. I mean, given, on video calls, than, that in the last decade. And they're all so interesting and they all have all these cool design stories. And it's just like, it's amazing just to be able to meet these people from different countries just so easily. It's great.
I mean, it is fantastic, and it's opened up your world. It's opened up quite a few of our worlds, and it's changed really the way we work forever. I mean, it's got to be a kind of plus of what's happened in the last couple of years, and definitely shaping 2022.
100%, yeah. It is. This is the new normal. It's how things are now.
The new normal. Yeah. That dreaded.
Got to get used to it.
This is a problem when you run something like Creative Boom. You'll use these phrases, and the next week you'll see people going, "Oh, the new normal."
Yeah.
You can imagine Stewie from Family Guy going, "Oh, Brian, they're saying new normal."
Yeah, definitely. And now I'm going to animate that phrase now. That's in my head, so I'm going to animate that later.
You should, and maybe normal. Back to reality or something like that. Can you squeeze that into an Instagram?
Definitely. Yeah. There's reels now, and this is how Instagram works. So there's more space, more screen space.
Oh, don't. You're just making me sick.
I'm sorry. I don't use reels, but I'm going to have to start doing it.
You do. And I'm going to just be watching you like a hawk, and I'm going to just copy everything you do.
Yeah. Now you're facing the type game.
Oh gosh, I wish. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem.
And talking about all these wonderful things, and it looks like your year is going to be probably your best yet, would we say? For sure.
For sure. I have one project in particular that's coming very close to finishing soon, and it's for like a UK artist, and it's huge. It's like a dream come true. So it's going to be a good year, hopefully. I'm not going to curse it just yet.
Well, and we wish you loads of luck, and thanks ever so much for joining us.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me. It's a dream come true to be on this. It's just great.
Oh,
surreal to be here.
Stop it. Get to your desk and make Creative Boom animate, please.
Off I go.
If you'd like to learn more about Mat Voyce, you can find everything you need in our show notes via creativeboom.com/podcast. That's where you can also hit subscribe and enjoy fresh episodes from us every Monday morning. Thanks again to our sponsor, Astropad, the ultimate iPad app for professional artists. If you're ready to take your creative workflow to the next level, you can start your 30-day free trial of Astropad Studio right now. Plus save 10% on your first year when you enter the promo code BOOM at checkout. Just go to astropad.com. Next time, join us to hear from Marina Willer, the award-winning graphic designer and filmmaker who is a partner at Pentagram.